Greetings and blessings, everyone. James Thomas from FNQ Spiritual Group and Blue Star Spiritual. Welcome to our next channeling from Phineus the Teacher. Today's episode is going to be on the truth of Lumeria and Atlantis. So please enjoy, and if there's anything that we can do for you, please feel free to email us on fnqsg7@gmail.com or bluestarspiritualgroup@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to assist you on your spiritual journey. Blessings and greetings to each and every one of you. I am Phineus the Teacher from the High Council of the Universe and from the Great Central Sun. Today we are going to continue on our journey of giving information for the star seeds to assist them on their journey. Today we are going to be talking about Lumeria and Atlantis and the role that they play and have played in the project Earth for the star seeds. Now, the way it normally works is you have what is termed a grand cycle. Now, this is normally tens of thousands of years in length in third dimensional linear time. And generally, when you get to the third grand cycle, a point comes in the journey when the humanity of Earth or the native human population is asked a question. Are you ready to evolve and continue the journey of your evolution and eventual ascension? Now, in the third and fourth grand cycles, the answer to this was no, we are not ready. So everything got reset. Now we're going to focus our attention on Lumeria and Atlantis for this fifth grand cycle. So there was a switchover from star seeds in the fourth grand cycle to the fifth. There was some star seed who remained for the fifth grand cycle, but for the most part, there was a switch out, and all the star seeds that were coming to participate in this project in the fifth grand cycle were what you would term experts at evolutionary and ascension processes and projects, and had participated in the evolution of many different worlds in this universe. So the main force of star seeds came from the Pleiadian star system, and they had a world within the Pleiadian star system, which was the last world to complete their evolution and ascension process on from third dimension into the fifth dimension. So they participated. The Pleiadian High Council sent a team of healers and scientists to assist with the setting up of the fifth grand cycle here in this project. They had participated and assisted in the very beginning of the project before the first grand cycle. So, Lumeria and Atlantis was created to assist the star seeds in descending their energy from the fifth or sixth dimension, wherever they came from, into the third dimension. And they took on human form. Now, in Lemuria, it was decided that only light workers would be in Lemuria. There were other types of star seeds besides light workers, but there was no no one of darkness, no dark workers involved in Lemuria. In Atlantis, now Lemuria began first and set the energy, if you will, for the project for this grand cycle. Certain allocations were created and made to ensure greater chance of success in the fifth grand cycle. Now, Lemuria is part of Lemuria is where you know of as Hawaii, but it stretched around the Pacific area. There were many islands. It actually stretched all the way to what you know of today as Taiwan, Japan, and the Philippines, as well as all the way down towards the South Pacific area, and eventually to New Zealand and what you would know of as Rapa Nui or Easter Island. Now, the focus of Lemuria, like Atlantis, was all around assisting the star seeds in preparing for their journey into life with the native human population. This was a vitally important aspect, and they sent teams out regularly to different areas in what you know of as Asia, as well as the western part of North America and into Central and South America. Now, the Atlanteans were a little bit different. The Atlanteans had light workers and dark workers, but they also had a number of scientists as well. And their focus was more along the lines of technologically minded, whereas Lemuria was more connected with the planet and working with the earth energies, as it were. So the Atlanteans, they had probably the more difficult pathway as well as challenging pathway because you had light workers and dark workers. Now, the purpose of this was very simple. Those of darkness were creating scenarios to bind humanity over time. This was not to interfere with the evolution of the humanity of Earth, but rather to, to be teachers, if you will, because how do you understand light if you don't understand darkness? And so this proceeded until eventually those of darkness took over Atlantis, and the priests and priestesses of Atlantis, when they saw what was going to happen through their own divination and their own work, they decided to leave. Now, the Atlanteans of the priests and priestesses went into areas that you know of as Ireland and the UK, as well as into Egypt, North Africa, the Mediterranean area, into what you term the Middle East. Whereas Lemurians went into Asia, Central and South America. Probably the most famous Atlantean that is known in modern terminology is known in the Mayan culture as Quetzalcoatl. He left, he traveled into what is termed the Mayan area and taught the Mayans all about time, space, and things of this nature. And this is where the Mayan calendar originated from, was from the teachings of Quetzalcoatl. Although, of course, that wasn't his actual name, but that's the name the Mayans used for him. Now, the Atlanteans were involved in experimentation of energies, and because of this, it wasn't an intentional situation, but because of what they were experimenting on with the energy and frequencies, it ended up destroying Lemuria. Now, the Lemurians had already traveled into what is termed what you know of today as California, Northern California. They created an underground city called Telos, which is underneath Mount Shasta. They created a tunnel system that went from Telos all the way to what you now term Machu Picchu in Peru. They also went into the Peru area, Central and South America area, teaching the indigenous populations about time, space, healing, all of these things, the understanding of nature. And so the Lemurians traveled extensively. Those who were survivors of the destruction of Lemuria gathered on what is termed the islands of Hawaii now. And that's where they remained until they began branching out and going to places like New Zealand, Easter Island, places like this. So all of a sudden, you've got a situation where the Atlanteans were the ones behind the creation of what you know as Druidism in Ireland and in the UK. They were also heavily involved in the creation of the Egyptian Empire, the Greek Empire, as well as the formation of what took place in the Middle East. And they planted the seeds, as it were. Now, the destruction of Atlantis and Lemuria, you could say that it was because of what those of darkness did. But there are no mistakes. You have to realize a simple truth. It was not viable, nor was it appropriate for the star seeds to remain isolated from the native human population. They were very comfortable on Atlantis and Lemuria. But those societies, those places had to end in order for them to branch out and work amongst the humanity of Earth. And so this is what occurred and this is what happened. And it is because of this that everything began to shift and change. Now, there have been many amazing experiences and happenings on this planet. Everything from Buddha, Kuan Yin, Yeshua ben Joseph or Jesus, um, Krishna, Muhammad, King Arthur, Joan of Arc, all of these individuals, every single one of them starseed because they were the ones to initiate change on a global scale to assist the humanity of Earth in its evolution and in its movement forward, shall we say. Now, there is some talk amongst starseed about the destructive nature of religion. Religion was initially began back in the times of Lumeria and Atlantis. It is simply a form of belief that assists individuals to connect with something greater than themselves. You see, in Lumeria and Atlantis, initially, the starseed, when they fully descended their energy and became physical on the planet in Atlantis or in Lemuria, they had full memory of who they were, where they came from, why they were here. By the time Lemuria and Atlantis ended, the starseed there, less than 5% of all the starseed in Lemuria and Atlantis had any memory of themselves at all. this was wiped so that they could move more fully into their roles of moving the humanity of Earth forward. Now, initially, when they left Atlantis and Lemuria, they were heavily involved in teaching the humanity of Earth. And as time went by, they backed off more and more until it got to a point where they didn't need to be those front facing teachers anymore. They simply became living examples. Now, religion, as we were saying a moment ago, is serving a very important purpose in the evolution of the humanity of Earth. You have to realize the humanity of Earth utilizes religion to connect to something greater than themselves. Do you understand? It is not leading them down a primrose path. Eventually, just like with Atlantis and Lemuria, religion will go away and be replaced with nothing. In essence, it'll be a situation where the humanity of Earth will get to a place where they walk and live a spiritual life in a spiritual path without the need of dogma or religion. So, for those of you who have a connection to Lemuria or Atlantis, this simply means that you have been here for the entirety of this grand cycle. And for all the starseed who have been here throughout this entire grand cycle, with the completion of your current incarnation, you're not going to ascend with your human body. That is not necessary. Your human body is associated with Earth, it belongs to Earth. Now, there is a much talk about the new Earth. That is far into the future in human terminology, in human time frames. Just know this, just like in the time of Lumeria and Atlantis, you will complete everything you are here to do successfully because nothing prevents you from doing so. So at the end of this current incarnation, you'll be given a choice. You can either leave and go home, or you can come back for one more incarnation if it is necessary and needed for the project, as it were. You have to realize there are new starseed who have been incarnating upon the planet who are here to take over from the starseed who have been here throughout this grand cycle. Atlantis and Lemuria was the starting point for all of you starseeds who have been here throughout this grand cycle. Your service has not only been noted, it has been extraordinary beyond belief. You have done more than you can possibly imagine. This concludes our talk on Lumeria and Atlantis. If you have questions, you may submit them and we will address them on a future transmission. Much love and many blessings to each and every one of you. I am Phineus the Teacher from the High Council of this universe and the Great Central Sun. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions you'd like to submit, please feel free to email us on fnq bluestarspiritualgroup@gmail.com or bluestarspiritualgroup@gmail.com. Much love and many blessings. Until next time. Posha Nakarata Mate.